Actually, there are 3 different strategies. I'm going to give you a synopsis on each one, and you tell your local expert which one makes the most sense for you. This helps your local expert know what is most suitable for you when they build your customized plan. First is the fixed rate approach. You get a guaranteed fixed rate, sure, but it's a low rate, approximately 1 to 2% if you're lucky. With less risk comes less reward. That's just the rules. But wow. The second approach is on the other end of the spectrum, the stock market or mutual funds, where you have the potential for real high returns, but with a greater risk of losing your money. And a lot of people have, because it's been pretty dicey lately. The third is the index strategy, where the entire principal amount you saved is protected. All the interest earned is also protected, so you don't lose money. Now, this is not meant to be the only bucket you put your money into, but a diversification bucket makes a lot of sense. The interest earned is linked to what the S&P stock index does, which for the past 25 years has averaged almost 10% a year. Now, at this point, the lawyers want me to tell you that past performance is no guarantee to future performance, which is true, but you tell me, where else can you put your money and expect to lose 0? Now, of those 3, ask yourself, which one makes the most sense for you? If you said the index strategy, then keep watching, because I know you will like what your local expert is going to have ready for you, and it's very popular. Let's talk about it for a minute. You've heard of the S&P 500 index, right? The Standard & Poor's 500 stock index is basically the 500 most widely held companies in the U.S., representing over 100 industry groups, such as technology, healthcare, utilities, the biggies. In fact, the S&P 500 represents almost 70% of the total domestic equity market, about 70% of the American economy. And when one falls out of favor, it's replaced by another stock, and it's always 500 good stocks. But get this, the S&P 500 has averaged almost 10% a year for the past 25 years. If you invested in the S&P 500 25 years ago and averaged almost 10% per year, would you be happy? I would. Then we add floors and caps, and this really does get good. But for now, let me give you an overview of the index strategy and how the interest crediting works. All interest earned is linked to the S&P 500 up to the cap, for example 12%, but without any of the downside risk associated with putting money directly into the stock market. So you see, your money is protected from any market loss, while at the same time you participate in the growth of the S&P 500 up to the cap, with protection from the downside risk. That should be pretty important, don't you think? Here's an example. Let's say that a few years back you contributed $10,000 in the index strategy, and the S&P 500 is 10% for the first year. Now it has grown to $11,000. And let's say the second year it grew another 10%. And now you have $12,100. But as the market so often does, in the third year the S&P loses 20%. Can it happen? Not only can it happen, but it has happened and hurt a lot of people in the process. But you were smart and put your money in a product using the index strategy, and now instead of your account value dropping 20% to $9,600 in year 3, it remains level at $12,100, ready to start growing again as soon as the market behaves itself.